Well, good Thursday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up this morning, guys. You know what? I went to bed a little bit early last night and I overslept, and oh my God, I feel more refreshed right now than I have in a long time. I am ready to meet the challenges of the day. In fact, this is great because we know what happens. We got a game tonight. We got a game. We're talking about a game tonight. We got 3 on Saturday. We got the Cowboys at 1 o'clock on Sunday. We got the Commanders and the Giants fighting it out. Will they end up in another tie for Sunday Night Football? We are going to be in overload. So that means I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 7 games. 7 games to go through. Or 7. Joy. Oh my God, that's going to be, we're going to have back-to-back days of 3 games. Holy moly. I might need to go back to bed and get some more sleep. So the Cowboys are trying to add some personnel. They're trying to fill out the rosters. We've been a little bit nicked up, in a few places, and they're trying to do the best they can to plug the holes. And still, we got 2 big things going on today. 2 big things going on today, and we're going to get to both of them with ESPN's Get Up take on it this morning. We've got Jerry Jones saying, you know me, I just love to stir the pot. I just love all the damn attention in there. I want the NFL world to be revolving literally around me because, I really want some.
Part of leadership is to have some of the guys that have gone before that have been disappointed to share it with everybody involved. For me, it's a reminder.
It's a reminder.
I've been here 23 years.
23 years.
And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was
glory hole days.
I've been here when it wasn't.
I want me some glory holes.
I want me some glory holes.
Yeah, he wants some glory holes. So I have that perspective. Yes, he wants some glory holes. In fact, I think all Cowboy fans, I think we'd all like to have some glory holes these days. So Odell Beckham Jr., Jerry Jones said, signing him is going to be sooner than later, and stand by, but I'm not really commenting on that. Well, here's what I think happened. I think because the Cowboys, I said, that T.Y. Hilton may be a little bit of a bargaining chip to kind of let Odell know we're not going to wait forever. We love you, but we got to take care of business. And then, of course, the Buffalo Bills re-signed Cole Beasley, which kind of took that off. And I think the weather, too. We're getting, where I live at, a lot of rain. The storm that's going across the country. It was crazy to see it in Louisiana as well as all the way up into Canada, past Minnesota, and literally going across the country. I don't know what it's going to be like further north with the rain, sleet, and snow and stuff, but this is one hellacious storm. Hopefully some of this water will go into the Mississippi and help fill that sucker back up because it has been low. But there were tornadoes in New Orleans with 3 people dying, and so our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to them as well. So be safe out there. And I'm figuring that looking at the New York Giants, which are holding on by a thread with having to play the Commanders this Sunday night, looking at that and saying, I've been there, done that my star will be brightest. If I want the most attention, I need to be with the Cowboys. And it may be that he's like, you know what, let me get signed so I can start rehabbing with the Cowboys and the big boys and try and get back on the field and stake my claim for the future. And that may be how the Cowboys end up getting him at a better deal. But I want to remind you guys of something here because, for the Commanders, their big thing is they're still waiting on Chase Young. Chase Young, they're hoping that he might be able to make his debut on Sunday, but it doesn't sound like he's going to. I'll remind you that it has been over a year for Chase Young his knees were, I mean, it was bad. They basically he had 2 knee surgeries. They ended up taking a graft from his patella tendon on one knee to make the ACL in his other. And it's still a year removed from those 2 procedures. When you think about Odell, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend that I am one. But Odell had a bad first surgery on his ACL, a bad first surgery on it that they said was a ticking time bomb. And so now you go a year later and have to redo it again. And here we are, a little over 10 months removed from that. Just kind of putting that into perspective. If the thought of signing Odell, the best way to look at it is if the Cowboys do sign him, it's more for publicity right now. What you look at and say, and I almost wonder for Chase Young, if you're not ready to play right now, is it advantageous to play the last 3 games? I think at this point, you look at it and say, shut it down and become the best player you can going forward. Because if you're that close to being able to be there, that doesn't mean you're 100% and you're really there. That's just my perspective. The other issue is the sensitive ass ego biatches. You guys literally are so defensive about anything. Micah Parsons, when he said, is it Jalen Hurts or the team? He didn't say Jalen Hurts' ass and the Eagles suck. I could see you getting bent out of shape like that. But he said, is it Jalen Hurts or the team? He recognized that they are doing great, that he is in the MVP conversation, that he is a possible MVP player. That's not in dispute. But did he do it all by himself, or was it the fact that he got A.J. Brown out there as a wide receiver? Was it the fact that he has the best offensive line in football? Because if you take him and put him on a team that doesn't have those things, does he still have the same numbers? I'm betting he doesn't. I mean, I know I'm just Joe the fan, but I'm betting that, because they are a great team, and I'm acknowledging that you are a great team right now, Eagle fans. Y'all just up in arms. But in some way, I kind of like it. I kind of like it because, football has been so much kinder and gentler, and I understand why, because we don't want to maim people. But it's just been too damn friendly. Just too much. On Christmas Eve, I want passion from these 2 teams that are fighting like somebody stole something from them. Let's listen to ESPN's Get Up this morning, because they're going to be talking about, I got back-to-back sections here, talking about Micah Parsons and what he said, and Jerry Jones and Odell Beckham.
But we'll show it to you in case you missed it. Tuesday on Von Miller's podcast, Micah Parsons questioned how much Jalen Hurts has to do with the Eagles' success. So I'll play that for you again, and then you need to hear the response we got from Philly.
Sensitive biatches.
Or the team? I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think it's system and team.
Micah Parsons had some comments about your success and whether it was more attributed to yourself or team and scheme. Curious to get your thoughts on that.
We're worried about the Bears right now.
Yeah, I'm going to worry about the Chicago Bears this week, man. Worry about this game. Marcus should worry about his game this week, too. That's just how we focus and run about our business. You got the Chicago Bears, not the Chicago Micah Parsons.
And we just played the clean part of that, by the way, just so you know. So now, why are you raising the pinky? What is it you are so proud of?
That's passive aggressive right there. From who? From both sides. Listen, this is all the smoke right here. Listen, and that's how football's supposed to be. I don't want to be your friends. I'm so tired of these dudes changing jerseys, pleasantries, signing messages, praying each other. Choke the hell out of somebody. I don't forget you.
Now we have to work together.
Nothing about you. You suck and it's about your team. I don't care when we play you. Listen, I just hope they don't do this whole roughing the passer stuff. If you want to play football, let's play football. We need to see some nastiness. This is what this rivalry is supposed to be about. All this patty cake stuff. What happened with the Chargers was a joke.
Yeah, that was bad.
You know what I'm saying? You damn straight I'm trying to put all my body weight on you.
I happen to agree with you, by the way, that I like the little bit of vitriol here, the back and forth. That's
sick of this old patty cake.
Used to be.
This sounds like you called both teams and said, guys, here's what I want you to do. I want your defensive star to rip the other team's quarterback, and then I want the other team to clearly be upset about it because we need stuff for Thursday morning. That's what it looks like it happened.
The beauty of it is in the first game, they isolated Micah Parsons, right? They didn't block him. They made him part of their offense, and they really took advantage of him. So now it's the counter to the counter, and Michael Parsons going to get a chance to prove that it's about the system and not him.
Do you think he's saying that because it stung, because he's annoyed about how they played him last time?
Did you see they isolated him? They didn't block him.
Yeah.
They literally played off him.
So he's saying that guy's not better than me.
But almost everybody here has laughed at what Micah Parsons says, but you're not laughing.
No, because I said this exact same thing last week when I picked Joe Burrow for my MVP.
What is it about Jalen Hurts?
Listen, Jalen Hurts to me is the most improved player, and that's not disrespectful to him. I put him in my top 10. What I'm saying is he's not the MVP. It's more about the pieces around him. He arguably has the best roster in football because he's on a rookie deal. He's a second-round draft pick, and now you can go out and get luxury pieces. We'll find out what kind of quarterback Hurts is when he starts to lose things. And that usually happens when you get paid and you lose pieces. We saw that happen to Patrick Mahomes. We're starting to see this happen to Dak Prescott. That's the true evaluation.
But you can't, Patrick Mahomes, for example, he was picked in the perfect place, went to a great organization with a great head coach, with great players in place, and his career, boom, took off. He could have easily went to the Bears and had no coaching and no offensive line and no receivers.
We're all products of a system.
Exactly. So we're all products of where you're placed, certain times, when you're drafted, where you're drafted, round you're drafted. So I would say that Hurts is in a great position for them maximizing his skill set, which is running the football. I mean, the Eagles over the last 2 seasons lead the NFL in rushing. They have 20 touchdowns.
And the quarterback's a huge part of it.
The quarterback is a big part of that because the coaching staff, the organization, management, the roster that they built maximizes everybody's potential, and that's what great teams have.
Has Jalen Hurts, Dan, what you spend most of your time doing is just talking to people around the league about anything and everything. Has he silenced pretty much all of the questions? Do most people around the league believe that the stuff Micah Parsons is saying is now dated?
No, look, we say this all the time. People hold on to their draft evaluations, right? Like he was a second-round pick. Very rare you don't get guys, we missed on that guy. They'll wait until something bad happens and say, see, I told you. I think it's not just maximizing his skill set, it's maximizing other stuff about Jalen Hurts. And Dominique Foxworth talked about this on the show earlier this week. It's football intelligence. His ability to be a part of what they do week in, week out in terms of adjusting the game plan. He has shown a lot. I think he is in a great system and in a great situation. But that doesn't automatically mean the situation is carrying him. I do think they're better as a result of what he brings to the table than they would have been otherwise with somebody else. Or for instance,
still got some meat on his bone, Green.
I love the extraordinary skepticism on that. You have resting skeptical face, is what you have.
I know. I'm trying to make a point. I'm looking over there going,
Bart,
we said the same thing about
We'll do more on this as we go, but I got a million things to get to today. Bart, I can't wait to hear your take on this. The OBJ thing a week ago, and here's Jerry telling us to stand by. Why?
Because he's always selling. If Jerry said, no, we're not interested in that guy, that's less interesting.
Right.
So he's not
Of course, he's always selling.
Thing. If we've learned anything about Jerry Jones. And look, I believe that he wants to sign him. I believe that the team's football operations people and medical people have said at this time it doesn't make sense, and that he listens to those people. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want to sign them. And because he wants to sign them, it could still happen. But what I think what he's hinting at is hopefully down the road, if they're in the playoffs, it makes some sense. He's in a position to help because right now he's not.
One way or another, the fact that he actually used the word stand by.
That's awesome.
As a TV person, it makes me laugh.
Stand by.
That is literally a television expression. That's where it comes from. And so he's now just producing TV shows. He wants us talking about it. Jerry, we have fallen directly into your trap. That said, speaking of traps, the Cowboys have a big game a week from Saturday against the Philadelphia Eagles. So could their matchup with improved Jacksonville on the road this weekend be a trap game? Let's put the picks up on the screen, Chrissy. And
every game is a trap game.
Rob Ninkovich likes Jacksonville this weekend. Talk to me, Ninko.
Yeah, I just got a feeling, man. I just have this feeling inside. The Cowboys are talking about the Eagles. They're talking about Hurts. They're not really thinking about, Trevor Lawrence. who's actually playing really, really good football right now.
Yep.
So, again, not focused on the task at hand. That's the next game that they're about to play. Trevor Lawrence, Hembo hit me with some stats right here.
Oh, boy.
Over the last 5 games, Trevor Lawrence has 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yep.
And also has a 72% completion percentage. Which
Is that good?
That leads the NFL.
Oh, wow.
It leads the NFL.
So they just shellacked Tennessee.
And they just got
Mike
after
White.
Tennessee, which Tennessee, they had the running game and they have the elite front and all that stuff. So I'm just saying, if you're the Cowboys, this whole week would be different if the Texans would have held on to that one at the end and they didn't win that game. They won it by the skin of their teeth. But that being said, I think Jacksonville is playing good football right now. The quarterback is confident, and he's playing probably the best he ever has.
I haven't had a chance to ask you, and I've been looking forward to it all week because there's been a lot of Cowboy conversation here.
There always is.
I mean,
Surprise.
Teams sometimes find a way to win games when they don't play their best. But there's been a lot of talk about the quarterback. What do we need from Dak Prescott right now for Dallas to be what we want them to be?
Well, we need him to be a professional. We need him to be a franchise quarterback. He needs to facilitate the offense, take care of the football. He can't turn the ball over. These are all mistakes that will get you beat in a playoff game and definitely get you beat by a team that you're not supposed to lose to. You saw that almost was the case last week. Dak Prescott's going to have to prove. This is where he earns his money. This is where he shows everybody that, listen, I'm a force multiplier. I'm a guy that when the team isn't playing well, I can pull us out of the depths and get her done. The thing is, he's playing against Sunshine on the other side, who's finally starting to figure out the offense under Doug Peterson, and they're really starting to get some good, some good football play out of him. So now you got to ask yourself, because now all of a sudden they have life. The worst thing to give a bad team is hope. And all of a sudden they have hope now because Tennessee is imploding. So now they feel like, hey, they're a dangerous team. You saw Dan Campbell last week. He got nothing. You can risk anything. He went for a fake punt on the 28-yard line.
Right.
This is the type of football that you're going to face. Teams that have nothing to lose. They have no expectations.
Yeah.
So they're out there playing loose. Meanwhile, Dallas is going to get tight as they always do. That's why Jerry is scary.
So you're going to have to score to beat Jacksonville. The way they're playing right now, the receivers they have, Dallas banged up on the back end of the defense, they're going to have to score. The thing is, Dallas can score. I mean, they can score with anybody in the entire league, and I think we've seen that. Last week, obviously they should have played better last week, but you could come off of that, and it could be the lesson that you need, right, to get you
the launching
to not
point.
Overlook a Jacksonville. So I think you have a feeling. I know you have a feeling. A week ago, I had a feeling that the Bucs.
All right, we'll leave it right there. But, to me, it should be a launching point and a wake-up call for the Dallas Cowboys to say, listen, we can play with anybody and we can lose with anybody. So, we have to bring our A game here on out. In the NFL, you're going to have some games where you just play like shit. It's just the case of the way the NFL is. Let's go ahead and see what we do this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And with that being said, I got a lot of pieces out here that I got to get out for you guys. And we are under 500 people to get to 50,000. That is unbelievable. Let me say thank you, everybody who is a subscriber to the Joe Boo Sports Report. We're going to keep on bringing you the best news on the Dallas Cowboys. And with that being said,
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.